There we go. Okay.
Ah,
All right.
dude, you're looking festive, man. I'm just telling
Thank
you're
you.
looking in pure Mr. Burger fashion right now.
I appreciate it. Is, is
Dude,
the
I'm loving the setup, by the way, brother. I'm loving everything. I love the corner. I love the depth. I love the kind of everything you're doing there, like getting everything set up. Did the wife approve this? Because I know you have a child on the way,
yeah,
and
we
so did
did.
she
This is
approve? She approved
so
this new setup?
yeah, because we had so before up until June, my best friend and my little sister were living with us, and we kicked them out when my wife got pregnant. So like when like she got to like second trimester, like okay, time to go. And so that opened up two more rooms in the house. So now we live, which it used to be. This is the converted garage, like technically the largest room in the house, but this is converted into diagonally. This half is my studio, and that half is her office.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah.
That works out well. Now, you guys are both educators, right?
Yes, we both teach. We both teach in. I guess it would be secondary. No, I don't know. What's middle school? I don't know. Who
Yeah,
knows?
middle school. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
perfect. Yeah, yeah. No, I mean, I would say that you're not only educators, you are the most important educators ever because holy crap, middle school is a whole thing.
Well, her more so than me because she teaches special education. So
Oh, that's awesome, man. Well, you guys, I mean, it's so you're talking to a father of a middle schooler, so I know, man, I know, and plus we're totally missing our mark because you as a middle school teacher, I mean, I guess you had to get in the fragrance game because if anyone that's ever walked into a middle school, nobody needs more support on smelling good than middle school students.
exactly, like literally, that's what I say. Like I tell them, I say you can't talk to me because they all know, they've all seen my stuff, and we might have to get some of. They might get in here. Um, Actually, if you can make me mod, I'll just ban them when they get in here. That's what I
No,
do in my
we're good.
lives. But I say, they're not allowed to ask me about my TikTok stuff unless they want to ask for recommendations because they stink. And I tell them that. I tell them that to their face. You know, it's like you smell bad. I mean, I won't tell them in front of other people, and I'll be nice. But
Sure.
if it's like a consistent problem, that's a much deeper thing than me telling you to smell good. But if a kid, I'll joke with the ones who could take the joke. I'll be like, you need. Actually, all the gentlemen need Bamboo Reflection by Roja Prestige, in my opinion.
I was kind of wondering which one was your go-to for them. Which one you've recommended? Because I know you're going to recommend one that they can afford. You're not going to go with like the Creed Wald vetiver.
Well,
It's
if
like,
I don't like them, I usually recommend YCZ. So
oh my god, you crack me up, man! I love it. I love it. You know what? Here's the honest truth. You remind me so much of like every educator I had in high school. Like you, like you. I was lucky. I went to one of the best public schools here in Southern Indiana, and I still have a relationship with a lot of my teachers that I had when I was in high school. And I don't know. There's something about you that reminds me of them, and it's really cool. So I hope you enjoy what you do because I'm sure you're making a difference.
I do, and it's something I'm good at. I come from a family of educators, right? My grandfather was an English teacher for 40 years, theater teacher. My father still is a history teacher, and I am a history teacher. So it's like I say it runs in my family, but nobody runs in my family, um, except my uncle who does the Boston every once in a while. But it is. It's something that like I mean I'm going into year 6 or 7, unironically, and it's one of those things where at this point now, like I'm not even thinking about it. Exactly. I'm not even thinking about getting ready for school because I'm so patched away. Like come August, I'm ready to move. And you do a thing for long. And are you in education, right?
I
Post
am. Yeah,
secondary.
I work at higher ed. Yeah, I work at Indiana University.
Awesome. I love college so much. Uh, I went a little bit older and married, so it was a little different for me. But it was it's just one of those things. Like when you get into a thing, and I realized early on that like, oh, the passion that I have for teaching that my father and my grandfather have, I don't have, but it's also something that I care a lot about because I value education so highly. I mean, every day I literally have to combat misinformation. I have to combat kids who can't read because we decided to abandon phonics 15 years ago for some dumbass reason. Excuse my language.
Yeah,
Um,
100%.
yeah. So that for me, like, and when I found like fragrance, I mean, I've owned fragrances since I moved out of my mom's house because I wasn't allowed to wear fragrances at my mom's house. Because she got migraines from them. But like ever since I moved out, like I've had a bottle of fragrance, and so at a certain point, like when I found fragrance content and I was watching fragrance content probably since about like 2022 or 23, just like not like super big into it. But then I started to get to a point where I was like, Why don't I make something? And that's where I really found like entertaining has always been my passion. And I guess to a certain point, education is in part entertainment, or it has to be involved entertainment at some point.
I think the best educators know that, and I think the ones that don't know that, I think, are the ones, unfortunately, that, they're still trying their best, but I don't think it quite lands the same way. I think it's
Yeah.
funny that you realize that, and I think there's so much about life that is that way. Like, we all have things that we wanna say, that we wanna help people with, that we wanna do, but if you can make it entertaining, make somebody smile, make somebody just think about things differently and not take yourself too seriously, I think it goes a long way, and I think that's definitely even true here.
Yeah, and I mean, and that's the thing. Like, there's so much variety, and I can't help but draw the parallels between what we do as fragrance content creators and what it is to be a teacher. Because the level of like all of my friends that I have and the people who I watch and see their content and how different everybody's content is, but everybody is entertaining, right? And that's the same thing with teaching. Like the way I entertain is through force of personality. It is very much like what you see in my videos is a more true to form of how I entertain. I am very bombastic. I am very over the top. You know, and that is not the way that take for example like my grandfather. My grandfather passed away like last year. He was the Disney company's teacher of the year in like the early 90s. And they did a
Wow.
whole like segment on him where they went to his classroom and you watch him and he is entertained, but he's entertaining in a way that is not entertaining not the way I am, right? He is very like grasps your mind kind of way, or he was very like grasps your mind, and very engaging in that aspect, and not so much a humor. He was humorous, but not just like by sheer humor and in weaving humor in the same way. And so that it is entertainment, and there is so much variety, and there is so much ability and chance for teachers to engage students through entertainment. That it is something that I'll always do, if not for the retirement benefits only. You know.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I mean, without a doubt. But it's so funny that you say that and you bring that up, and it's funny because like I look at your content, like I'm even looking at some of the videos that you do now. Like, yeah, I'm a big fan of your Burlington series. Like, right,
Thank you.
like there's no way you can't love that, right? Like any of the blonde by Burlingtons or any of those things, right, are great. And I think that even that, like, it just comes across like you just take such a unique spin on it. And so I'm just kind of curious, like when you think about your fragrance content, even I mean, how do you what kinda goes through your head when you're thinking about that kinda stuff, when you're kinda planning that stuff out? Anything in particular, or do you just kinda let it flow?
So I do let it flow. I am very much into like the improv side of comedy, but when it comes to short form content, like I've tried playing around with scripting short form content very early on, and it was not my jam. However, I did just like drop a video on YouTube, and that is my first. So my a beginner's guide to ultra niche fragrance. That is my first video that I've scripted, and for the most part, the script that I wrote is probably I would say 60% of that video is the script that I wrote, and another 40% is me going off on tangents. And because like you can write a script, but if a joke comes to you or a bit comes to you in the moment, you can't you can't suppress that, or at least I can't. And so when it
Yeah.
comes to like the short form content, all of that is one shot. Like I do one shot. I'm a I've always had that just like ability to like ramble and be humorous, and I attribute that to having humorous influences my entire life. My grandmother is the fucking funniest person in the entire world. Like just this little old Catholic lady, and dead to rights, the funniest person I've ever met in my entire life. Um, and my father is I'm very much I'm very humorous in the way my father is. And my wife is actually funnier than me, but she's just doesn't have the ego to post herself online, and she never will. Um, but that, and then also just kind of like ADHD, I get connections quickly. And so if like I make connections quickly, so if I think of something funny, it's usually in the moment. It's never really in the process of writing something, like writing a script out. So all of my humor is like making that connection in the moment. I'm like, oh, that's actually hilarious. I'm gonna say that.
It's so funny about that is that I think those are the best speakers, the best people when they do that, right? I think that it's tough when you have that education piece that's out there where you can't do, or not in education, but like when you can't. I don't know. I guess what you can tell when people are scripted, so scripted that they can't roll with their own joke, and I think that's what really what I think causes problems. But what has impressed me about you, and I don't know if you're still doing this, but one of the videos that I'd popped in on, you were doing a live and you had your other camera set up in back in your other studio, and you would be live, but then you would just cut. You would go ahead and cut right to, and you were actually recording your videos
Mhm.
right there while you were live. And I thought that was so unique because one, it was different, and two, you could kind of see behind like how this kind of all comes together. And it was so fascinating to watch you do that live and then to watch the video get posted and to see the little tweaks, but nothing major. I mean, it was one shot. And I've not seen anybody do that.
The person who inspired me to do that is actually was Daniel Rene. He's the only other person I've seen who does that, 'cause he has, if you ever notice in his videos, he'll have 2 mics on. That's because he has his other camera set up or his other phone set up right here, and he's live. That man is live all the time. All the time. It's really impressive. Not even when he's just shooting content, but, like, doing makeup in the morning, going out, eating, and he's live all the time. And so I was watching one day and in his chat and then watching him do the video, I'm like, "Oh, that's literally how I do videos." Like, the way that Daniel approaches it is the way that I do. It's one shot, it's honest, it's open, and you just kinda let the creativity flow.
Yeah, no, I love that, and I think it's so important the way, your creativity and your humor. I mean, I think that that is just so important to kind of see that. So I'm glad you do it that way. I think that was pretty unique. I think that's you should do more of that. I think that was pretty good. I really like that. So what's your favorite type of content to do? So I look on here and I see some of your things. I see I see the top tens. I see the blind reviews. I see the beginners guides. I see some of that work. What are your favorite types of things to do?
Um, so I really I might be a YouTuber at heart. That's the struggle I'm coming towards,
Yeah.
because the last 2 YouTube videos I've done, Lattafa, like ranking my Lattafa fragrances, did pretty well. I got like 3,000 views, which is more than double all the or triple all the views that I've had on my other stuff. So I'm just at, like, literally 998 followers as of my last check on YouTube. But I really enjoy long form. Like, I'm scripting out my next video, which I'll give you, like, a little sneak peek. It is going to be I'm gonna be ranking all my Rabiat Prestige fragrances because I love Rabiat Prestige. And I was scripting that out, and in the process of writing the script and, like, reading the script out, I'm like, "Oh, this is like, I really like this." Like, I love the organization of it. And if you look at the rest of my life, I'm massively disorganized. But I love the organizing my thoughts in a cohesive way, and, like, that doing that in a script is really fun. But in terms of short form content, like, one series I kind of dropped off doing, because the amount of editing effort that was required was I wasn't seeing the return on it, and it was
Is that a ghost? Is that a
no,
ghost of
it's a
Latasha's
very
past?
it's a very temperamental light, very temperamental. I should probably plug it in right now. But,
Temperamental light. I just feel like it was one of the fragrance brands that are trying to, they're trying to get you somehow, they're messing with your lights.
they always are. Oh, yeah, a little better, okay. So, it was my, like, rating people's collections, and
Yeah.
I did a lot with that. Like, it was the like, recording my camera and recording a second camera and recording the screen and then all of the audio edits and stuff, and it got to a point where, like, to create the product I wanted to, or the final result I wanted to, the amount of effort wasn't justified by the amount of engagement it got. And that, at the end of the day, unfortunately, like, as much as this is a creative endeavor for me, the point I'm at now and the point I've kind of taken within the last few months is that it's not really just for pure creativity anymore. This is like something that is can provide, like, financially for me, you know?
For sure. And that was kind of one of the questions that I had that I was kind of thinking about this for you because I see you do some of the shoppable lives, right? And I see
Mhm.
you do a great job with those, but I also see, that shoppable's changed a lot. There's some things there that are working better than other things. I know that you've talked a little bit about that. And I'm just kind of curious, are you kind of getting to the point where you're kind of weighing the shoppables and kind of what those can provide versus the branded content and, maybe looking at YouTube a little bit more and kind of what that could potentially lead into from a financial standpoint, or have you looked at the different options and contemplated those?
I'm kind of like a shotgun guy in the sense that I kind of believe, like, a wide approach. Um, I don't see myself stopping, like, doing any of that, right? Like, I'm probably gonna keep approaching shoppable. I don't do, like, a ton. Like, there's other creators who are even smaller than me who do a crazy amount with shoppable. That is not the I'm not super interested in selling a product. In fact, I'm so against selling a product that if I don't like the product, I won't do a video on it, which is terrible if you're requesting free samples from TikTok Shop, which is great for lives because I can pin it up there for 15 minutes and it fulfills the requirements. But like I like to do the shoppables because it is part of how I give back, right? So I don't know if you've seen the videos, but I do like a kind of a transparency video every month, and I talk about the
Uh,
money that I earned through the app, and I talk about the followers, and and then that is why I think I'll keep doing shoppable, even if it isn't like the highest revenue stream, and it could if I did it and I really committed to it, it could be a huge revenue stream, but that there's no joy in that for me, and that is there is no dopamine loop in there, you know. I mean,
I'm
money
glad
is a
that you
dopamine
know
loop.
that, though. I'm glad you recognized that early on to know that because I think that's one of the things I talk to creators about too when I'm watching their content. Like it's you, sometimes you'll ask them, they're kind of like, well, what's next, or like what's kind of the long term plan for you, or why are you in this space? And many of them can't answer the question. They don't really know. And I think that the fact that you've thought that through and that you know that that's not really what you get fulfillment out of, I think that's a good thing to know, right? I mean, to know that you can do more of the stuff that you want to do, but still hopefully try to make a little bit of extra revenue too along the way.
Yeah, and I mean, I like to be very transparent with it. That's why, like, when I do a video on a fragrance, like, I have so much I could pump out. If every single fragrance I had in the TikTok shop, or every single fragrance I had in my collection was in the TikTok shop, I could make enough content for a video, more than a video a day for a year, right? And I wish it was because for the most part, I love all the ones that are in here, and the ones that I don't love, I could still make content on. I'll just tell you that, you know. Like, but like I mean, I did one on Ramada Earthy, right? Which is unwashed Sinbad, very honey, very resinous, and I think I think it's sexy. I think it's a gorgeous, stunning honey fragrance. I love honey, but it's not going to be for everybody. And then you have to kind of sell that, but then also sell it with the caveat that you might not like this one, you know? And that's hard because I love that fragrance. I think it's my second or third favorite. It's my third favorite Arabia Prestige because it's Bamboo Reflection, the Muda High End, which is still not on TikTok Shop for some reason. Actually, I know the reason, but I can't say. Um,
I understand.
uh, so it's like how do you because there's so much shoppable content. I was literally watching. I got a shop video that wasn't an ad. I got an ad that was a shop video. Then I got a shop video that wasn't an ad, like last night. And I was like, okay, I'm just gonna go do something else now. You know? And I don't want to be like I am contributing to it, and you have to be salesy, but that is my and you asked my most favorite form of content, shoppables are my least favorite form of content. Like
Okay.
by far. And I still do them because there are people who have bought them and go like people who've bought Bamboo Reflection off my recommendation. They love it. I've had maybe one person who doesn't love it, you know, and that's what I like. That's what I really enjoy is like you trusted me enough and you've seen my content enough, and you know that when I put out a shop video, this isn't me like. I mean, I like getting paid. Who doesn't? But I'm not just doing it to get paid. I actually really enjoy this fragrance, and it is something that I wear. You know.
I think it's a big deal. And the transparency videos. I was going to bring that up earlier too because I think that's another thing that you do that's amazing. I'm kind of curious what made you what gave you the idea to do that, or kind of where did that come from? Because I think that is something once again unique and different that you do that is so I think illuminating to
Well,
the
and
space.
I do want to be and I will be. I like. Thank you for that compliment. I do it. I got that idea from Ode to Frets, Jonathan. He was on a couple weeks ago,
I
right?
do. Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
that was his when he was posting content, and I think we both started about the same time. I saw him do that, and I did credit him in my first few videos. And that was his idea. I love the transparency. I also love Jonathan. If you guys aren't following Ode to Frags, you need to drop him a follow right now. Um,
Okay. No.
one of the like the best grassroots fragrance journalists. And it's like you want to know something about a company, a merger, a new product launch, he knows it. Um, but I viscerally believe in transparency because I hate. Okay, I'll tell you this. I'm reading a book right now called Immortal Great Souls, which is a fantasy series, which is phenomenal. If you like fantasy books, it's a great audiobook experience. And I just finished it today, and I could not stand the fact that this new thing was introduced and we weren't told anything about it aside from its construction, and it's been like teased. And so I emailed the author. I'm like, look, John, look, Phil, can you just tell me what it means that it's constructed of this type of thing instead of this type of thing? Like I have to I believe in openness because I think, and this is going to get a little, it's going to sound a little extreme, but first off, I believe as like working class people, that is how, especially if you're in like a typical 9 to 5 job, being open with your colleagues is how everybody bargains from an equal standpoint and a stronger standpoint as workers. Um, Second, I feel like if things are hidden, then there is a bit more likely for abuse to occur. And I'm not saying like you're being abused, but abuse of a system or abuse of a group of people as an audience. And so to me, that's like kind of why I want to be open on it, and I am like open, like I did, and I put paid partnership on my videos, like the video I did where I broke down all the Asoft fragrances. That was a paid video, and I was paid for that. I'm open about being paid for that. You know, that's I like to keep that honesty and clarity. And some people don't like it. There were some creators who commented on that video, some bigger creators, and somebody's like, "Well, I don't care. Just make sure you label your paid partnerships." It's like I think that sometimes people don't view content consumption from a content consumer standpoint anymore, but also view it through a content creator's lens. Like, if I am investing time into watching somebody and they're going to like not have that level of like not everybody has to have my level of transparency that at all. But there needs to be some level of transparency, because if I'm watching a content creator and I see them make a comment where it's like, well, I don't care if other content creators are open. I'm like, so what are you hiding? What are you not giving? What is it that is influencing you to make the choices you're making? Is it money? Is it a brand deal? And that's why I kind of try to be open with it, because I want people to see what is influencing me. Why am I doing it this way? Because I think if you understand what is influencing somebody, you understand what a content creator is about, and it's all part of that, like the honesty that how I approach things.
One of the things about you too is that you've been in the space for a little while. I think I was going back to some of your videos, and I think some of them were, at least on TikTok, were like 2022. I think,
That would have,
which
yeah, those were like, I probably should go private with those because they're not fragrance videos. But I think my very first fragrance video officially I posted May 23rd of last year.
oh, okay, so relatively recent then for that.
So,
Okay,
so the older ones are just more of like, at a certain point back when I thought I wanted to do TikToks about being a teacher, and then I realized that was a terrible idea and I didn't want to do that.
sure.
But yeah, just like some older stuff that I have. I probably could private those, but yeah, but I have a pretty extensive catalog of videos because I've posted 3 times a day, pretty much I'd say 95% of the days since July of last year.
Talk to me a little bit about what it looks like during the school year for you, because that was one of the things I've been following you mainly in the summertime is when I discovered you, and so I'm kind of curious, like how does it work during the workday when you're back in school and session? Like, how do you balance that, and how many videos are you doing? I'm just kind of curious about what that looks like from a somebody that has to probably get up pretty darn early to get into the school building, and then
Oh
just kind
yeah.
of there's not much time during the day you're educating. I mean, I'm just curious about what does that look like?
So I mean, it really is like when I'm at school, like that is my job, and that is what puts bread on the table. That is what pays my mortgage. It keeps the lights on and allows me to buy fragrances, right? For the most part. And so for me, that is my, when I'm in school, I'm in school. You know, I'm not trying to sneak away and edit videos. Maybe during my prep period, but even then, I have too much work to get done. I haven't found a free point in the day to actually like edit a video. But like when I'm working, I'm on the clock. Like it's work, and so I might be brainstorming things, but I'm engaged on that, you know. And like my rhythm is it'll go some this next school year will be a bit different just because my wife is due at the end of August, and so we'll have our first kid, and that's going to definitely change my rhythm. I'm still gonna be posting once a day, but I don't know if I definitely for the first bit, and when I go back and I'm working and have a newborn, I'm probably not going to be posting 3 times a day. Um,
If
and
you
a
do,
lot,
I'm gonna be worried about your mental health, and I'm gonna come talk to you because I'm gonna be worried about it.
you could view it as this is my creative outlet,
Yeah, that's right.
and this is before anything else, before it was uh, anything financial for me. This has always been like I don't. This has always been a my creative outlet, and I don't really even like do like this is my. I was talking to my wife today, like my hobby. Like I haven't plugged in my gaming PC in like 6 months.
Yep.
I don't really do that. This is like my focus and my hobby now, and it's definitely a much more rewarding dopamine loop than gaming is. Um, but the way it used to, well, what it looked like last year is I go to work I have my videos scheduled out the night before to post, and then they would post, and then when I get home, I'd record them and edit them, and then schedule them that night. And that did consume like it did consume a lot of the day, but there was a level of like dividends paid. You know, I got growth that I wouldn't have been able to have if I had the responsibilities of a family, because I'm definitely not going to take time away from my family when my daughter arrives in the same way that I was doing in the last year, right? And so that's kind of it is a trade off, one in which I am excited to make. But it is also like some days you don't record 3 videos, and then all your thumbnails are off, because I have my thumbnails by color. And then if you go back on one of my playlists, which is the blind reviewing of fragrance, there's a couple dozen that are shot in my car, and that is like on my way to work. I'm like, oh my god, I don't have a video, or oh, I want to blind review a fragrance right now, and so I'll just stop the car, pull it over, because I get to work about an hour to 45 minutes early. You know, that's just kind of how I am, and I'll just record that one and upload at some point throughout the day, maybe on my lunch or after school.
Yeah,
And
no, that makes a lot of sense. I mean, I was always curious about how you did that because I knew that it had to be a lot, and you get a system down basically. I mean, you get a
mhm,
system down and you kind of work it, and you kind of find what works for you. And then I think it's gonna be the same thing. You know, I'll tell you, as a dad of 2 daughters, dude, it is gonna be awesome. Like I can't wait to hear about you. I can't wait to see how your experience changes too with some of these things. It's gonna be fun to watch from afar. But it's yeah, you'll need to get some rest for sure. But it'll be a blessing. You'll love it. Every minute of it's great.
yeah. Hey, Veronica. Hey, Dwight. How you doing?
Yeah, we got some great people in here. Guys, if you're in the chat, thank you so much for being here. Please make sure that before you do anything else, make sure you're following the Mr. Burger. We're so glad to have him as a guest here on Frag Talk Live midweek. We do this every Wednesday night. We come on, we talk a little bit about content creation. We talk a little bit about fragrance. We talk a little bit about life, all the things. And just glad you guys are here. Make sure you share and like the live, and make sure that you get more people in here so that they can learn a little bit more about Mr. Burger, the man behind the scenes. Because I think that's one thing about me that I think I've really enjoyed about this place too, is that we all see the performative side. We all see the videos and the things that we do, but I love some of the live content too, because we get a little bit more of a glimpse behind the scene of the real people. We all have jobs, most of us have jobs outside of this. Most of us have, life, family, all the things going on, and I love that when we can talk about that. I mean, I've had several creators on here that have gotten really personal and talked about their life journey and where they started, and some of them, ended up homeless and have been in recovery, and it's just so fascinating to me to learn a little bit about people and to have people come into the space and to be open and honest. Do you find that same joy in just kind of meeting people in the fragrance community, or are you kind of like, you know what, I'm going to kind of focus on my kind of content and I'm not going to really look out and absorb or watch too much content myself because I'm kind of focused on what I'm doing? How do you balance that?
Oh, I'm gonna get a little philosophical here, or
I love it.
something sociological. I'm talking about sociology. I think one of the things that America struggles with, holistically, is that there is a disconnect in the last 60 to 75 years in formations of community. Right? There's been an emphasis towards uh, travel, in the sense that how we've separated our communities from urban centers. Walkable communities. How our suburbs are now whole cities unto themselves, and you have to drive to these places that your grandparents and great grandparents walked to. And I'm a big believer in community. I'm a big believer in the fact that everybody is stronger for it. And while I can't affect our nation on a drastic scale, that is not what I want to do. Even I have no interest in politics. I'm a big consumer of fragrance media, and I believe in kind of the importance of that. Like, I'm in several group chats with different creators, but then you have your group chat of like the people you talk to who you are friends with, like actual friends, and you talk to them every day. Like Paulie Sense. I stayed with him. My wife and I flew out to stay with him at the beginning of June for like almost a week. We stayed with his family, and I met that dude. Actually, my first impression of that dude was, oh, he's kind of weird. So I remember he sent me a message, and I was like, told my wife, like, this dude messaged me and he's kind of weird. And I think I've told him that, and now I literally like confide in him, and he is a very close personal friend of mine. And so I'm a huge into the community. In fact, my favorite memories are going to this year ASD and Scentfest and getting to meet people. like Polly and Victoria and Chewy, and then my boy Fragrance Mont and Benny Smells. Benny Smells is dope, and I love his mom too. And just like hanging out with these people whose content I've seen, and then like we went to one of the first nights we were there in San Francisco, we went to an event for imaginary authors, and then we walked down the street to get ice cream, and there was this absolutely intoxicated pair of young women in line to get ice cream, and they were telling us, and they were just so crazy. And I was just hanging out with everybody and look at these people and telling them about fragrance. And I don't know. It's so cool because when you meet your people in this space and you speak with them and you get that connection, and then that connection just instantly translates in person. Like I've yet to have somebody who I've met and talked to a good amount online and then met in person and not had like an immediate connection with them. Even like I was just introduced to Fragrance Mont and Sense with Sean, and we hung out with both of them at Victoria. Paul and I hung out with them for the most of the time at at Scentfest, and it was just like an instant mesh, like an instant click. These are just like awesome people, and it's this shared community, and the fact that we all love it, even though Polly thinks Ingenious Ginger is gross, I still love that guy. He can be wrong. In fact, we had this big disagreement today. I picked up, and I'm gonna post a video about this, but I picked up a Grail for me. This is Roja's Dia Glaive. Um, Absolutely. If you got in chat, if you haven't tried this, holy damn! Like, but he hates that fragrance. I actually sent him my only decan I had before I purchased this, and he hated it. And even though we have very different noses and very different approaches to content, it's still like those relationships you make are just like instant clicks.
That's what's been fun for me to watch. Even I love watching the interaction between certain content creators, like you guys as friends. But like, and I love when you bust each other's chops, and I love when you do content that way, and it's just real because you know that you like different things. And I also love when like different things happen within the fragrance community, and and people have different takes on it, and it's fun to see people that like, hey, yeah, we're friends. Like we're gonna disagree on this, and we're gonna mess with you. But you know what? That's life too. Like, how fun is it to actually disagree with somebody and still be friends with them at the end of it? Who would have thought we could do that as a
Yeah.
society, right? Like, go figure, right? It's just when you do. Sometimes people take things a little too seriously with fragrance. So we've seen
100%.
that in life too, and it gets sometimes it's just to put things into perspective. But um, I don't know. I think you're right. There's probably more to this than just fragrance. I guess is what I would say.
I agree.
Yeah, yeah, no, it's really cool. So, you were talking about meeting people out at these different events. Have you found the events that you feel like are the best ones? I know you said you haven't gone to a ton of different ones, but are there ones that you're going to put on the list every year now? Like you're going to go to these types of
Oh yeah.
events, or have you? Yeah, so yeah, talk about that a little bit.
Scent Fest is definitely an every year for me. It's local. It's like an hour 45. So Sacramento to the Bay Area is a pretty common drive and a pretty straightforward drive. Um, and I enjoyed ASD, but unless I'm seeing a business opportunity there, it is not for like an average viewer, right? And I honestly think that creators should go, especially if you're a creator that focuses on affordable fragrances, like Middle fragrances, which I do. But it is it is not the one I would pick first, right? I think there's three in the circuit that I've kind of determined I would like to attend in the future. Obviously, things are probably not going to happen right now with the baby, just with finances. But Scentfest in San Francisco, Fumed in Chicago, and then Scent Explore in New York, and that seems to be the circuit for people who are enthusiasts but also want to try like the things that are under the rug, like best kept secrets. Um, because I've spent way too much money at Scentfest. I mean, I had a budget and I was within the budget, but it still felt like too much, you know.
Sure.
But it was phenomenal. It was a phenomenal event. I got to meet I got to meet so many cool people. I got to meet so many cool perfumers. Lorenzo Pizzaglia asked if I wanted a cigarette. I told him no, thank you. You know,
I feel like you have to say yes to that, right?
yeah, yeah, but not on camera.
Yeah, no.
But and then I got to meet the perfumer. What's up, Spremo Joe? I met Spremo Joe at Sunfest. I love that guy. He's jacked. Um, and I got to meet like the perfumer behind Boho Boko and just like standing outside the event because it was so hot inside the event center and standing outside and got to just chat with this perfumer, Gilbert, and just he told me the whole story of the brand and how it was originally a fashion brand, and then because of COVID, it went his fashion brand went bankrupt, and then he started doing more and more fragrances and where his fragrances come from and all that kind of stuff. Thank you very much, Snacksons. Um, that was it was so to and then to meet like if you get the chance yourself to go, and I think probably the one in Chicago is a little closer for you. Are you
It
still in Indiana?
yeah, yeah, it is.
I would 100% say you got to go to Fume. Like you got to make that happen next year. And I mean, if it's feasible for you, because
Sure.
it's such a like the vibe at all these these smaller conventions is so awesome. And also, I say that because Midi Parfum, uh, Paulie met them in at Fumed, and they were at Scentfest, and they're probably the nicest two people. The husband and wife who do the brand are the nicest two people who I've ever met in the fragrance space, and that's a tough sell. Thank you. Because there's a ton of great people, but like you meet people and you're like, oh, like being nice for you isn't an effort. Being a kind, compassionate person isn't an effort. It is an essential portion of your being, you know? And I feel for a lot of people like kindness and empathy and compassion, and even for myself, those are things that everybody struggles with every day, except for a very small select few people in this world. And I strongly believe that husband and wife of Mini Parfum are some that don't struggle with it.
Well, and I'll
You
tell
know?
you that I think people can't hide it either too when you're face to face. Like I think that's one of the things I love about the idea of getting together at a convention, or at a at an event is really just because and I'm not calling out anybody for being fake or whatever, but there's so much persona and so much ego and so much things that are kind of wrapped up in this kind of digital space because that's a part of the way that this digital space is built. It's really good to see the other side of individuals and to know or to know one way or the other, right? Like either
Yeah.
they like to talk to you or they're just like they don't want anything to do with you. I think we've seen things on both sides, right? And so
It takes a very skilled manipulator to fool a group of people that large. There was, and I'm not getting into any drama, but it was a very interesting dichotomy to see those people, and then there was somebody else, and I'm not going to name them. I'm
no,
going to vaguely reference the situation, but they had a very negative interaction with. This is a content creator had a very negative interaction towards a person working at booth who was also a content creator, and it's just like that just you're just telling on yourself. I also already knew that this person was not the business because of a thing they posted, but like you can't you can try to hide, but people are far more intuitive than as a group than we ever give them credit for.
yeah, well said. I think that's exactly right. And I think it's also cool to find our space too, find our niche. But also, there's certain people out there that I love the reverse of that too, right? Like I love when you find that rare unicorn that is up at 1 million followers or 2 million followers, or they've got a pretty big established reputation. They are getting invited to meet it, to all these different places and everything else with the brands and when you find that they are a good human, right? Like they really are a good human. Like that gives me I don't know that gives me faith back in the world, I guess, a little bit, knowing that you could have both. You can make a choice. You don't have to just become a jerk, when you get at a certain size. So
Yeah.
I don't know. So that's good too to see both sides of it. Yeah. Burger, what is next for you, man? So I know you've got a lot of things going on. I know that you've got a lot of life stuff coming on. So what is next for you and how can people help support you? And I think number one, if I heard anything, probably go to the tube of you and
Mhm.
maybe give you a follow there would be one good thing they could do.
Yeah, I mean, I am. Last time I checked, I was at 998. So if you're on the Red app, drop follow the Mr. Burger fragrance. I don't think I'm going to drop TikTok for that, right? But it is definitely something that I think I enjoy a bit more. Um, that like I find a lot more rewarding in that long form content, like I said. And so I think things are going to I don't know. There is a lot of stuff, and there's a lot of stuff that I'm not yet able to talk about because it's still, it's confidential, and there's a lot of things that I'm really excited for. But I think there's going to be new things. There's going to be more long form content, maybe and come August, end of August, a slight bit of the short form, less of the short form content. But I have a massive catalog. Um, but it'll be a lot of the same, and it'll be some new things. I'm always interested in how I can grow and change, and then also continue to perfect upon what I've already done, because I think that one of the biggest things that I've done is that And whenever anybody asks me, and this is you want to clip this, this is probably the best piece of advice I could ever give somebody to wants to become a content creator. Well, one is just post the damn video. And I'm not talking about the video where you're, holding it and you're recording this. Like that is a great place to start. And I've done faceless videos like that, but get your face in front of the camera and post a damn video. It doesn't have to be perfect. You go back and look at my videos. Oh my God, they're bad. But
Same.
find the people you enjoy the most, whose content you watch the most, and analyze it. Break it down like almost frame by frame or scene by scene. Like how are they speaking? What kind of thing are they saying at the beginning? Is it a closed hook? Is it an open hook? How are they editing their video? What's their transition like? Do they use transitions? Is it a snap transition? Are they using keyframes? How are they delivering their lines? What line stuck out to you? How long is the video? What's the pacing? How many words per minute are they saying? I love to be super analytical on things I enjoy, right? And so I've taken people's videos, successful videos, and then people's videos who I just enjoy watching, and I've analyzed them and say, what are the key beats that everything I'm seeing, these things that they're sharing, what is that thing, right? What is the thing that they all share? And it's not going to be the same for you because or the same for the person watching, because what is success for me is not success for somebody else. Like there are some formulas that are tried and true. Like you can go hype beast and you can buy every single new drop and the new JPG and all the new dupes and do top 10 lists. That's not my heart, right? I have a video I want to make. I want to make that video. Okay, like this one I bought. No, nobody's talking about this, right? This is a discontinued Zaro, and I bought it because it looks hella cool, right? This is a Zaro Men now, and it looks like something out of like a 2000s futuristic sci-fi. It looks like a phone. Like I wish my phone looked like this and not like that. My heart is in finding weird things that I want to talk about and also finding things that I want to talk about that everybody else enjoys as well. Like there has to be passion in it. So your success is your passion, because if you make a video without passion, people can tell that, you know? And so it is break it down, break down what works, find out what works for you and do what you love. And that is kind of how I've approached things. I don't know
Yeah,
what.
it makes a lot of sense. I mean, and I think it's great advice. And that was actually one of the reasons why I was going to ask you the same thing. I was like, would you still encourage someone to get into this space? Because I think sometimes that is where, you know,
Huh.
sorry
Oh,
about that. Don't know
oh.
what that was. But I see a lot of people that are discouraging people, right, from doing the things that they I don't know if they see it as competition or what, but I do see people out there that are discourage people
I
from
do
getting
have
into
a
content creation.
I have a thought about that. I'm not sure if you would not, if you wouldn't mind one piece of profanity.
Yes, no, I love all profanity.
Yeah,
Please,
fuck those people. If somebody is telling you, like, if you see somebody, another creator who is saying, "Oh, it's so oversaturated," or "What's the point of content?" or "Fragrance content sucks," that's in their head. That's their voice they're saying out loud. That's the thoughts that they have inside. That's their doubt that they're projecting onto you. That is their issue and their weight to carry. It's not yours, because there are like a 2 billion people on this app. That's two like and if we look at the most popular fragrance person, Jeremy Fragrance, on the men's side of TikTok, that's 10 million. The market cap, let's say, is 10 million. That means that 1,990,000,000 people haven't discovered fragrance yet, haven't discovered your content. Like post, because you could be somebody's favorite creator. Like that's what it is. And post because you want to and you love it, and you have this need to have your voice out there. Because I started making content because I found at a certain point the content I was consuming to be lacking in what I wanted personally. I had outgrown the people I started watching, 3 years prior. Like I didn't want to see those videos anymore. I wanted to see videos that I wanted to make, and who better to make the videos I wanted to watch than me? You know, it is all about personality connection, 100%. And so if somebody is like wants to get into the space, there is never a better time than today, and the only better time was yesterday, but now it's today.
yeah,
You
no,
know,
well said. And the other thing I think about that when I think a lot of it comes down to the fact that people also they, I don't know. I love people like Chewy. Like we talked about Chewy earlier, but like Chewy is so helpful to those young creators that think they want to get into this game. He gives them, he uplifts them. He kind of gives them he tells them what to do. He kind of gives them some advice, but he encourages them, and I love that. And I think that is the thing that I love to see more of. When I see creators do that and lift people up, or when somebody comes in the room and they're like, "Hey, you really should follow follow this person. Like, I love that. We need more of that, less of the drama stuff that's been, going on.
Oh, 100%. And it's what I think sometimes creators forget is that there are so many people to watch your videos that your success doing Dean of Sense does not in any way take away from my success. And my success does not take away from your success. Nobody's success takes away from each other because nobody's going to sit there and only watch my videos. Nobody's going to sit there and only watch your videos. Nobody does that unless they're a stalker, and that's a little weird. But that's a professional issue to deal with. You
Yeah, we
know
don't want them to do that. Yeah.
exactly. There's no reason that to think that, and I don't. Those people, I think it's also algorithmic in the sense that um, they may be seeing that. They may be seeing that, oh, frag talk is dying. Fragrance content creators are decluttering their fragrances and they're quitting and it's all gonna die. And it's like that's your algorithm, bro. Like that is what the TikTok algorithm is showing you. It's not showing me that. It's never shown me that. I don't engage with those videos. If I see a video like that, I scroll past it. I don't want to engage with that negativity. And so to me, fragrance talk never seems to be dying. In fact, this is my best month I've had so far in terms of followers gained. I'm on and in terms of except for like a viral video month. If I look at average views without viral videos, this is my best month for views as well. Like there is only growth. And you may have a downturn, and then that downturn is going to feed into your mental, and then you're going to start your mental state. And it's all cyclical. It's not dying. It's like it's not oversaturated.
And the other thing I
It's
think about
it's
too is like small communities matter too. Like you'll see like I have a very small following, but that's not why I'm not really into this for a large following for me. I mean, for me, I'm into this because I like to have these conversations. I like to throw them out here. I like to throw them on the tube of you. I like to throw them out there. I like to get to know people a little bit better. And the people that I do have in this community, while it's a small community, they're very engaged and we have great relationships. We have great discussions, and I enjoy that. And I think that sometimes people get too caught up with massive numbers, and they've got to remember that a more engaged community, there's nothing there. I mean, that's the holy grail, right? When you have community members who are actually engaging with you, and you can have a conversation with them, you recognize them and can have a conversation with them. That's a good thing.
yeah, and I also agree with that. Like I think there is. I think what you do is unlike anything else that is on this platform on TikTok, right? I think it is radically its own thing, right? It's almost like you took a more tasteful version of the Howard Stern show and you run that, but for fragrance, or like a podcast. Because I don't know if I ever listened to a fragrance podcast. I don't think I would, you know, but because I can't smell a fragrance podcast. Um, but that is like you are building your own small community, but there are hundreds of millions of people or hundreds of thousands of people who are into fragrance who just haven't found it yet, who are starving for that. I mean, I would say that even though I like to think, and I am, my personality, my approach to things are different, your content it fills a very specific niche within the niche itself, you know? And I applaud you for it. I hope you continue doing it because it's exactly we need like people who are doing a specific thing excellently, you know?
Well, I appreciate you saying that. Thank you. And then, like I said, it is a lot of fun for me. And it's so fascinating for me, too, to see that there's not just one way to do things, right? Like, I love
Mhm.
seeing the different perspectives of how people got to where they are, kind of where they're going, and how they support each other and how it looks a little bit different. And I think there's a lot of value in that, too. And I just like breaking down, getting to, because I think some people, they just have this idea of who content creators are, or who perfumers are, or who brand owners are. When they find out that they're just like everybody else and they have fears, they have desires, I mean, they're just all these other they're human, right? And I love when we have all that together, and it makes a big deal, I think.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. I appreciate you, Aventa Snob. Thank you, brother. Aventa Snob helped me out, man. He let me smell my first vintage Creed
Mm.
Aventus. Like I've never smelt the the true old school vintage batch number, whatever. Um, boy, there's a difference. I
Oh
thought
yeah.
that was all baloney for a long time. Boy,
Oh
yeah, he educated me.
yeah. Eli gave me one like a 15Y something with a little bit left in it, and that it's night and day. It's almost like a different fragrance. It's a different fragrance, you know.
Well, dude, I'm
Like
not
some
gonna
of
keep you
them.
too long because I told you I wouldn't, and I'm gonna be on to that. But I do want to ask you a couple quick fragrance questions
Yeah.
because I don't know. So, your favorite type of fragrance? What kind of family are you? More of a fresh guy? I kind of heard you talk about a few things you like.
My
Are you kind of like where do you fall in all that?
That's really tough, and it's really like I don't like gourmands. And oh my god, I'm so washed out there. I don't like cheap gourmands, is what it is. I love a complex, deep gourmand that is done very well, but I love tea fragrances. I love tea in like I've actually just got one in the mail today. This is by Prode, but it's Quentin Biche. He did a tea collection. So he did white tea, black tea, red tea, and green tea for Prode. And then I got in
Ooh.
white tea today, and that is a stunner. So I love tea fragrances. That is my jam. But I,
Would
I
you
think I
call
would.
Wulong Chaw be,
Oh
considered a
yes,
tea fragrance? Yeah, for sure, yeah, because I
yeah,
love that one, man.
that is in my top five tea frag. I have the Oolong Cha X. Woo, there we go.
I
Yeah,
love that. I love that fragrance.
late. Do you have layer with imagination?
Oh, I've not done that yet.
Do it. I do like Oolong Cha on bottom, imagination on top. It's amazing.
Okay, I'll do that tomorrow. It's gonna
Yeah,
be hot here. That'll be a great one.
yeah. I think it's hot. It's so varied for me at this point in like collecting. Um, like I guess I have to leave this light on. I was hoping I could turn it off, save battery, but
We're
the
almost done. We're almost done.
it's fine. I was being if it'll turn, whatever. Yeah, I love tea fragrances. I would say tea fragrances dominate the most of my collection, right? I mean not most. They're not even a tenth of my collection, but they are also like the one I have the most of. I think I have probably 20 something, 20, 24, 25 of them now. And if you had to pinpoint one note, that is the note for me. But I also love like really deep, complex things. Like Jess with Elysian Parfum. She
Like
did.
like some of the Amouage fragrances, like some real, like,
Yeah.
complex
Okay.
things like
So
that?
yeah. Like Ramad Earthy is a dupe of Sinbad, right? I love that one. I like Decision. I love Purpose. I don't like Purpose 50 as much, but I love Purpose. It's very woody. I mean, if you're looking at my top 10, so my top tens are back here. Wild Vetiver, Ingenious Ginger, Scent of Peace Natural, House of Cosmo, Crimson Aura, St. Green Edwards, Michael Malal, Manhattan Midnight, Low Medial Cologne Forte, um, God of Fire, King Cobra, and then Roja Diaghilev. So it is kind of a gambit, right?
Cologne Forte, brother. Beautiful
Hell,
fragrance. Freaking love that fragrance.
well,
I
it's not like the people don't know. It is one of the best freshies in existence. Like the almond is crazy in this.
It's so good, and I every time I wear it, I'm like, "Man," I'm like, "God, do I really wanna spray this? Because I love it so much, I wanna make it last as long as I can, but
And
daggone, I love that fragrance.
it's so good. But I love a good freshie. I think you can see like kind of a consistency with I love freshies, I love fruit, but I do love darker things. Like King Cobra is probably the outlier of that collection. It's very green and very camphorous. Oh my god, so good.
So good.
It's the
So
best
good.
cherry fragrance in existence.
I
It's
agree
like
with you. It's not even
it's
it's hands down. I mean,
yeah
people wanna talk about French defense and stuff, screw that. This is
yeah
right
like
here, this right
cherry
here.
punk cherry punk extrait no. French defense no. Like there's no cherry fragrance I've ever tried that even comes close to what Crimson Aura did. It's that cherry and the red wine. And it's like effulgent. Like it's like an aura. It's I don't know. They killed it with that. Chris, I mean,
100%.
I'm obsessed with that fragrance. Um, so I mean, I guess I could tend towards freshies, but I do not shy away from something that is deep and controversial. So I like okay in my YT video that I did, I talk about this one. This is a local brand out of San Francisco. I found at Scentfest. This is called Mirth by
Mer
Herbcraft Perfumery.
Okay.
This is insane. I've never so the perfumer behind this is Mauricio Garcia, and I'm telling you right now, like I hope that man sticks to indie because he'll get gobbled up by like Givaudan or somebody, and he'll just be everywhere, and he won't be niche anymore. He won't be like I won't be able to gatekeep him, which I never would, because I love talking about him. But everything I've smelled from him that he's done, everything he had six of his own fragrances at Scentfest. He had three that he had done for Planet's Perfumery, and he had one he did from Scent Trunk. And I bought the one he did for Scent Trunk, and I bought this one, and I want to own all of it because I have never smelled anything like his work. Like it is truly gifted and unique work. This is, and I have the notes right here. The note card. It is grapefruit, lemon balm, apricot, jasmine, osmanthus, cotton candy, and saffron. But it smells like joyous. It smells like Lisa Frank, the
Yep.
like from the '90s.
My wife
That's
still
what
has some Lisa Frank stuff.
exactly. That's what this is like that to me. Like, it's just like, I don't know. It's perfect, but it's weird and it's not in my usual alley. It has some citrus, it has some fruits, but it is not a citrusy fruity fragrance. It is I love things that are complex and weird. I have things I tend towards, right? But like, God, if I don't love a weird fragrance, like, man,
I
so
mean,
good.
you wanna be challenged. I mean, sometimes I think
Yeah.
that's true too. Like sometimes you want just a linear fragrance, but sometimes you wanna be I mean, as your palate kinda continues to grow too, you wanna have a fragrance that's gonna change a little bit as you go through, go through the wear of it. I think that's a cool sign too of people that are kind of experiencing things at a little different, way. And I think that makes a lot of sense. So I'm glad you went through your top 10. That was really helpful. And so I've got to ask you the question about, so you're talking about tea fragrances. So what are your thoughts on Lattafa's Dynasty?
I put that consistently in my top 10,
Do
if
you
not my
really?
top
Okay.
5.
Okay.
So people
Okay.
say it's inspired by Clive Christian, whatever that starts with an M. I don't see it. I think they just confused the rooibos. I think what I've actually stole Chewy. Chewy coined this phrase, and I steal it from him every time. And I text him every time I steal it, so he knows. But I think Dynasty is the most approachable way to get into niche scent profiles in totality, because you can buy Lattafa Dynasty for under $24,
That's
and if
right.
you don't like it, oh no, you spent $24. Like, it's so complex and also so approachable, and it is not a safe blind buy. I'll say that, but I think it's safe blind buy in the sense that it's dirt cheap. Like, you can find very few other quality fragrances at that price point. Like, I'm I'm obsessed with the rooibos. I'm obsessed with the clary sage. I love the raspberry. I don't get the nutmeg as much, but I think it is so different from a traditional tea scent. It is earthy and fresh, and also a little musky, but very, very unique in its own sense.
No,
I
it
think it's
makes
wonderful.
yeah, it makes a whole lot of sense. And I think that's pretty helpful. And I think that I guess the last question I'll end on is probably the big question, which I think I know your take on this, but I want to let you be able to describe it. But where are you at the whole like niche versus dupe versus designer? Like dupe
I want
hater,
it
dupe
all.
lover. Where are you
Give
at
it
on
to
all this?
give it to me all. I'll take it all. Like, I have a $15 bottle of YCZ right here, and I have a $600 bottle of Roja right here. I'm not gonna wear the YCZ though, but I have a $23 bottle of the Dynasty, and I have a $600 bottle of Roja, and I'd be torn to decide which one I want to wear. Like, it's I am after set profiles. I'm not after categorization, right? Okay, so like, let's put it like this. So I got this new fragrance in. This is a newest one by Unjust Jewelry, which I've done a lot of videos on. It's one of my favorite, like, indie. I did, and they're in like my White Sea video. And also, I love this.
That's next level presentation there.
Yeah, all of the boxes except for like one or two play songs, and they're all like songs that he had a hand in making. Very amazing, super awesome. This, and I told him, I like, this smells a little bit like another fragrance, but I don't care that it smells like the other fragrance, because I know this person and I know that this perfumer went after his vision of the Dorific aesthetic, which was, and you can smell that vision. I have it on my hand right now because I recorded the video earlier. Um, and you get that, and that's what I'm after. I'm not going to put on Toscobot because I have a video 3 days ago of me puking after I did.
Yeah.
Um, and I already traded that one away. But I'm after. I want vision, and you can get that at a smaller house. Like, there are these there, or a dupe house, because Dynasty is an original creation. Teriyaki Intense is an original creation. Like, there are great fragrances coming out of a lot of these houses, and if it's not just a vision, I want something that smells good, and there's plenty of stuff that smells good, that comes from cheaper houses. And so to me, like, I'm not like Milan scents where I only want super niche stuff. Although I love a lot of niche stuff, and I'm not like these, like dupe, like the literal dupe demon who only wears dupes. Like, his name is Dupe Demon. I have both. I have all my dupe stuff on this side. I have my designer and niche over here, and I have my top 10 behind me. And I want to smell everything good. And I'm not. There's few, like, I don't want to smell things that smell bad. Like a lot of gourmands to me. No, thank you. But
Yeah. Too
I'm a.
sweet, I assume. Too
Was that?
sweet. Too sweet, I assume for you probably.
Yeah, I don't mind a very nice sweet fragrance though. Like, that's the thing. Like, I'm not opposed to to a sweet fragrance that is done well. So that has to be, which one is that? Is that sugar leather?
Sugar leather.
Yeah, that's a good one. What's the gourmand in my collection right now that I have? I would say, you could say that this one is like plum velvet tea. Sorry, velvet plum tea by Elysian eh, is a gourmand, and I'm obsessed with it because it's done so well. It's a little bit sweet. It's like tantalizingly sweet. So maybe it is being too sweet. Like I don't like the yum bougie marshmallow types. That's
Yeah.
just me though. My
Oh,
wife, and
got it.
luckily my wife doesn't have it either.
Thank goodness you're lucky. You're a lucky man because I have an 11-year-old daughter who loves that stuff. And brother, just get ready. You smell it throughout the house. Like it's a marshmallow cloud of
I'm
every
just gonna have to follow her. I'm gonna have to follow along with my bamboo reflection. Just spraying it in the air. Gonna
I
neutralize
can't
what we
wait.
set
I
for.
can't wait for the scent battles you're gonna have. You're gonna create a monster. It's gonna be wonderful. So I just looked at the map. Sacramento is only about hour and a half away from San Francisco. One of my best friends lives in Oakland, and so I'm going to be visiting here with that in the year or so, and visiting her in Oakland. So I won't be too far away. So when I get there, I'll reach out, and you're going to
Yeah.
have to tell me kind of what the fragrance community looks like in the area. Like what are the
Um.
must try places that I need to visit, and
Yeah. There's
all those
there's
fun things.
there's definitely some places you can visit. There's 3 fragrance shops that I can think off the top of my head. There's 2 Ministry of Scent locations in ZGO, and they're all great. And they'll have different um lines. They'll carry different lines. And yes, Spraymo Joe is also from Sacramento. So
Oh, wonderful! Awesome. Well, good. Well, then well, good. Well, I'll come out and have you'll be my West Coast crew. I'll get to
uh,
hang out with you guys and Frag Talk Live West Coast. We'll have to make that happen sometime. But Mr. Berger,
those
thank you for being so awesome with your time,
cool.
brother. I really appreciate you being here. I really appreciate you taking the time and generosity with your time to be here. And this hopefully won't be the last time we'll talk. We'll talk again sometime. We'll get
Yeah,
Polly up in a box sometime, and we'll have we'll gang up on him. It'll be a lot of fun. We can
we get
we can
Chewy in
get
there too. That'd be awesome.
well, we'll see. I don't. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, we'll get.
We'll clip it, and send it to him.
Yeah,
All right, man.
I'm going to do that. Don't you worry.
Yeah.
Hey, guys, thank you so much for being here. Again, this will be up. If you missed any of it, please go back and watch it on the two of you. Make sure that you follow Mr. Berger here. Make sure you follow him on the Red Channel. Make sure that you're doing all the things that we want you to do. We're back here every Wednesday night and then Saturday during the morning, 10 a.m. for the community. And yeah, thanks guys so much for being here. Appreciate you. Have a great night. Keep smelling good, and we'll see you guys soon.